We met through Facebook. I was on Facebook one night in early October of 2022. I was skimming through Friends You May Know, and I saw Ernesto's name, and I was like, well, that's interesting. I don't know him, but we have a lot of mutual friends, so I went to his Facebook page and I saw that he was single, so I was kind of like, no, I'm not going to send him a friend request because I just didn't do that. And in the middle of all of that, I was also reading a book where it was talking about like taking chances that you would normally take. And so I decided, okay, this is the chance that I should take, and so that I normally wouldn't. So the next day I went on Facebook, and it just so happened that he was the first person that popped up on Friends You May Know. So I hit add friend.
I accepted, obviously, right? And I think I looked at your page for some time. I thought she was gorgeous when I saw the profile picture, and saw that she was single. So that was I myself at the time obviously was single. 2 weeks had gone by, and one evening at work, and she was the first story I saw come across my media feed, and it was a photo. It was steak and some green, some vegetable of a sort.
Yeah. And
I didn't know what it was. And I reached out and I wrote, I don't even think I said hello, honestly. I think I wrote, are those Brussels sprouts? Are those Brussels sprouts? Mm-hmm. Because that's a totally normal question to ask a total stranger you don't know on social media. Is that a vegetable?
Yeah.
And she wrote back,
yeah, I said they're shaved Brussels sprouts. That's why they didn't look like Brussels sprouts.
Shaved, that's what it was.
They were shaved Brussels sprouts.
They were shaved Brussels sprouts.
It was like a rare night that I decided to, I had nothing going on, so I decided to pick up a steak and some Brussels sprouts and cook for myself. And once I put the dinner together on my plate, it looked really pretty, so I posted it on my storyline on Facebook.
It did look pretty.
Yeah.
It was very pretty. One thing that caught my attention was the fact that the plated dinner wasn't on a paper plate. It was on a traditional dinner dish, right?
Which, full disclosure, I love paper plates, by the way, because they're so much easier to deal with. But it was just me. So
I didn't know that at the time. I was just impressed that it was on a regular dinner plate. Yeah. I was thoroughly impressed. I had made a comment that said, okay, well, I don't mean to bother. I felt as though I was bothering, and I didn't.
Well, I was nervous, so I was super short with them.
Very short.
Like, I just
completely short. She was.
I just was like, yes, no. And towards the end of that conversation and him wanting to let me go, he was like, can I get your number? I prefer to talk. And I was like, I reluctantly, but deep down wanted to give him my number. So I gave him my number, and we talked every day since then. And then he asked me on a date, like the next
several
day. Several dates. To which I kept turning him down. And so finally, thank goodness for his persistence, finally he said, well, you're so busy, what about brunch? Finally I said yes. And I didn't think that he was going to take the offer that I was going to give him for the date. But he did, so I was like, yeah, I can meet Friday morning at 5 a.m. at IHOP. That's all I've got.
That happened.
That happened.
I thought, okay, this is either a joke, right? Or maybe she's trying to blow me off. Mind you, I had received several no's for an invitation to a date. And I thought, maybe she's just blowing me off. So I thought, okay, well, sure then. 5 a.m. it is.
So
what did you think when I said yes?
I thought a lot of things that I can't say out loud. I was like, dang it.
That's terrible.
I was like, he actually took it. And then I was like, oh, now I have to do that. Now it's like, now I'm really nervous. And so I was like, okay, I'm not going to get up, and do full hair. He's just going to have to see me how I am.
Well, it was 5 a.m.
5 a.m. So we met at 5 a.m. on a Friday morning at IHOP. I mean, it was a lot of good characters and good people watching at 5 a.m. But we met at 5 a.m. and we spent 4 hours talking. I knew then that I really, really liked him.
But she showed up. She showed up and looked gorgeous and was wearing what I thought were PJs, like pajamas, a top and bottom. I thought you looked wonderful. Yoga pants is what they were, right? Maroon yoga pants.
Yeah.
And you look very beautiful, and I thought you were very pretty.
So I knew that I wanted to marry him. From the day that I met him, I didn't want to be without him. I even, after a month of being together, I was like, I don't even want you to leave the house. I want to be with you all the time. We had never been ring shopping. We had,
Yeah. Is that a thing?
I don't know. So I had no clue that I was going to get proposed to.
And so my difficulty was, how do I buy the ring, hold on to the ring, and thereafter find a good time, a good event, right? A special moment. An event was planned for the Republican Party of Texas, right? In which you chaired the...
I was asked to chair the congressional luncheon for the Republican Party of Texas, and the convention was happening in San Antonio, in which that's where the luncheon was going to happen.
Left early morning, was it Friday?
It's a Friday of convention.
Left early morning to come home to pick the kids up, to then turn around and drive back to San Antonio, right? Drove to the jeweler in Houston, found the ring, helped the kids helped me find and pick the ring, the specific one we wanted. I told them the story, I told them the plan. Daddy's gonna propose to Miss Shala. And Hadley says, does that mean she's gonna be my mom? And yes, Hadley, as I'm holding back tears, so beautiful. Yes, she's gonna be your mom. And I'm like, holy cow, here we go, right? And I think I was only nervous because I didn't want to fumble or have a mishap with the actual proposal. That was my greatest fear. So I'm hiding this thing. Where do I put it? The receipts in the bags. Where do I put the bags? That was my greatest fear.
Because we're very close. I mean, we're always together.
Right.
So this was probably one of his only opportunities.
Seriously, it truly was. I didn't want to have it to where you'd find it. And we were walking down the hallway, leaving for dinner that Friday evening, and my daughter was complaining about not wanting. She wanted to take her purse, a little play purse, what have you. And I didn't let her when we first left the hotel room.
Hey,
sure, let her bring the purse, what have you. As we're walking down the hallway towards the elevator, it dawns on me. Wait a minute. If I let her take the purse, I can put the ring box in the purse. We get to the elevator lobby. I say, wait a minute, you guys. I'm going to run back and grab something. I'll be right back. So I scramble back to the room. At this point, I'm sweating.
And I think something's up because he's acting so abnormal.
Was I?
Yeah, it was just he was like stressed. And normally we're not, no matter what the situation is, we both stay pretty level and just... deal with what we need to deal with. But
was
that
I
was
stressed?
Like, I was like, what is he so stressed out about right now?
I was sweating. No, I said I needed to grab my chapstick.
Yeah, and I was like, I have chapstick in my purse. You don't need to go back to the room to grab your chapstick. And he's like, no, I need mine. And I was like, okay, just go get it.
I like mine. I like my chapstick. So go back, grab her purse, grab my daughter's purse, grab the ring box, and it fits perfectly inside my daughter's purse. I'm like, oh my God, this is meant to be, right? Leave the hotel room, back down the hallway towards the elevator lobby where everyone was. And at this point, I'm a wreck. Thinking if my daughter opens this purse, she knows what Daddy's planning to do. She would not have kept a secret had she saw it in the purse. And I'm thinking, at any moment, she's going to reach into this thing and ruin it, right? She's going to ruin the surprise, ruin the proposal, so on. So I'm sweating bullets. I'm a nervous wreck the entire way down the elevator shaft, out into the lobby, thinking, what are we going to eat for dinner? Let's get an Uber. I'm sweating bullets. Literally sweating. The Uber driver gets lost. He's a local of San Antonio, so how he gets lost, I'm not sure of.
But he got lost.
So it would seem like an eternity for me, right, as my daughter is playing with the purse the entire time, and I'm eyeballing this thing like, here it comes, right? Hadley, don't touch the purse. You know?
Yes.
Poor thing.
I was like,
Bless
what
her
is
heart.
happening?
Right. Finally make it to the restaurant. We exit the restaurant. It's about sunset. I say sunset, dusk, right? It's kind of settling in. The street is empty. This is so perfect. So immediately, blood pressure spikes through the roof. Heart rate's exploding off the chart, right? Just so happen to look over and see a family of 4 sort of off the side and waved down the dad. Waved him down and said, sir, can you take our picture? Stuttering, I'm sure I was stuttering quite extensively
I
at that
just was
time.
like, what is happening? Like,
Well, I think I sold it as I want to take a photo.
yeah.
Let's take a photo.
But just the like, he says, hey, I want you and the kids to take a picture. And I was like, what about you? And so I just took a picture with the kids, and then he got a gentleman to take our picture. And I just remember him saying, hold on, I got to fix Hadley's shoe. And I'm literally thinking, this gentleman is taking our picture. We need to hurry. And so like, I'm sitting there posed, and then I realized he's not getting up. And I looked down, and he was on one knee. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was completely shocked.
Were you?
Yeah, I was. I after he proposed and everything, he came to hug me, and I almost fell over. That's how shocked I was.
You did.
It was just really a special moment. But what was more special to me were both the kids were there, and there's a photo of Hadley in the background going, yes, like she said yes. I guess she thought maybe, they could say no,
Yeah, I don't know.
And then Ethan just really involved in it all. It was truly, truly, you couldn't have made it any more special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she said yes. So, for me, that was the best part.
Of course. I was going to say yes.
Yeah.
When I walked into the venue and when I met with the coordinator of the venue, I said, this is where I want to get married at. And to which he said, I want to get married anywhere you want to get married, so it's whatever you want.
Well.
So we're getting married on October 18th, 2025 at Hotel Zaza in the Museum District.
And I couldn't be happier.
Same. I can't wait to marry you.
I can't wait to marry you. More.
Lucy said yeah.
As Lucy.
Yeah.
And Lucy says, me too.
She's like, why didn't anyone let me in the video?
Yeah.